Championship of Australia, and they are represented by Brighton Grammar in Station 6, Southport from Queensland in 5, Shore School from Sydney in 4, Geelong Grammar of Victoria in 3, the King's School from Sydney in Station 2, and Newington College also of Sydney in Station 1. This will be fantastic.
Yes, the best rowing of the regatta so far this morning in the semi-finals of this event once the course became rowable. The first semi-final was won by the Shore School from New South Wales, and the second semi-final was won by Southport. So Shore in 4, Southport in 5. The two crews to watch, but the extraordinary thing about those semi-finals, 6 crews in each of the semis, and I don't reckon at the finish there would have been more than 2 lengths between the 6 crews in both the semi-finals. The winner of this race to represent Australia in New Zealand, so there's a lot to go for.
And our aerial shot shows us from the left. It is Brighton Grammar, and then Southport, and perhaps Shore School of New South Wales just in front of this stage, and then working from left to right, Geelong College, Kings, and Newington over there on the right-hand side.
Shore have taken about a canvas now. That's the crew third from the left of your screen, rating 38 strokes to the minute, and this is exactly the tactics that they applied in their semi-final. And there they are. They're a beautifully turned out crew. They're actually coached by a former international Gary Eubangang, and he can be very proud of the way he's turned this 8 out. They're a fine school crew.
There they are, Shore School, Sydney Church of England Grammar School, Shore from Sydney, 0.5 of a second at the 500 metre mark. Shore's margin.
Well, the pressure up there. Let's just talk about the equipment for a moment. You're looking at about $2,000 per seat in that boat. The 8 would be worth about $12,000. The blades $350 each. It's not a cheap sport at all.
And Shore School bouncing out about half a length now in front of Southport of Queensland, who've impressed in all their rows that we've seen them. And over there on the left-hand side, Brighton Grammar, and nothing between the 3 crews on the right-hand side, Newington, Kings and Geelong Grammar.
Shore rating 37 strokes a minute and clearing about 18 inches of water, maybe 2 feet, so they're really handling the boat very, very well indeed. This is a marvellous performance. I'm most impressed with the standard of schoolboy rowing. Just a little bit of untidy blade work there on the bow side of the New South Wales boat. Now they're picking it up. Of course, they're in the side conditions, although the conditions here at Ballarat are quite good for rowing now. And this Shore crew taking about half a length off the crew on their outside. That's Southport.
At the 1,500 metre mark, 500 to go, and Shore School in front and increasing.
Yes, that's been a big last 500 for them. That's about 2/3 of a length they've got over Southport now. The crew on Station 6 also doing well. That's Brighton Grammar, and it certainly is going to be the crews on the south bank here at Lake Wendouree fighting out the major placings, so they can suspect at this time that the Shore crew can pack their bags to New Zealand.
At the moment, Shore leading from Southport and Brighton Grammar, 3 crews on the left, and Newington just getting a bit of a break over on the right-hand side to move up into 4th place. But Shore School showing brilliant form and coming down with just less than 250 metres to go for an Australian Championship to the Shore School from Sydney.
That's Shore on this side, and the crew in the dark colours way over on Station 6, Brighton Grammar. But the line's going to be too close for anybody to challenge this crew, I think.
Just over 100 metres to go. Shore School from Southport and Brighton Grammar really throwing out a challenge to Southport, and Brighton might get up to take 2nd place. It's going to be tight for the miners. Shore are going to win. Southport or Brighton for 2nd. And you can see the 3 place getters in the shot there. Shore School, about 4 strokes to go. Sydney Church of England Grammar School, Shore win the Australian Schoolboys 8 with Cox, desperately close for 2nd. Maybe Southport or Brighton, very close. Newington in 4th place. And then we get back to Kings and Geelong Grammar.
4:32.4 the time for the 1,500 metre journey, which is quite a smart time. You're looking at about 90-second splits for the 500, and the margin 3.7, so that's just a fraction over a length And the Australian Rowing Council have announced that the winner of that race, that's Shaw, will represent Australia in an international challenge at Wanganui in New Zealand in May of this year. So that is a spectacular performance.
Let's have a look at it again. Shaw School in the white singlets. Comfortable victors by just about a length, and very close for second. Brighton on the far side, Southport this side. Oh, well.
Brighton, I think, Brighton by a matter of centimetres, Drew, but it really was the crew that had the blades in the water at the finish that took out second place. But Shaw get the triple A, and I think they'll be worthy Australian representatives. We'll be proud of what they do against the best that New Zealand have to offer in the way of schoolboy rowers. Just have a look at that Shaw School crew, and I'll run through the seating for you. In the bow, PG Chapman. In the 2 seat, D Forbes. 3 is PJ Murphy. 4, CJ Huxtable. 5, DPA Dix. And the ABC, of course, had an interest in that race, because you may remember that Dix reported into the ABC. Well, that is the son of the gentleman who did the inquiry into the ABC in the 5 seat of the boat. Schweigert in 6, Westner in 7, Burgess the stroke, steered by H.H. Smith and coached by Gary Ubergang, the winners of the Australian Schoolboy 8 Championship, the Sydney Church of England Grammar School, Shaw School. And look at that, they're a beautifully turned out crew, and I think, Drew, incidentally, they'll be representing New South Wales later in the afternoon in the Youth 8, so they've got a pretty big day ahead of them.
And a good crowd gathered on the bank on the far side, considering the atrocious conditions we had this morning, and the attempted scheduled start for rowing was postponed when in the first event, one of the crews sank, and the race was declared a no race and was rerun, and about 10 o'clock this morning, when the program should have been underway, everybody was huddled in shelter and trying to get out of the rain and the wind.